analyst and the host of the Independent Americans podcast. Try to combine those two words. Good to see you, my friend, once again. And I think the other thing, in addition to what Robert was talking about today, they talked about this last hour at the White House. They're designating the Houthis, which have been, the group that's been in the news so much, once again as a terrorist organization. I think a lot of people in this country were surprised to find out that they were not designated for the last number of years. So talk about the importance of that before we get to these other issues.
I think it's appropriate, and it's probably overdue. The Houthis are clearly an enemy of the United States. Playing nice with them is not going to work. There was an argument that maybe you take them off the list to provide opportunities to get more humanitarian aid in. Yeah. But as we've seen with al-Qaeda and Hamas and Putin, playing nice with the bad guys gets you nowhere. It gets you taken advantage of. So I think it's clear now that we're shifting into an overdue phase where we're harder on the Houthis with increased missile attacks and even our language come from the White House.
Think we get anything on these hostages? I mean, that's something, as Robert was talking about. Imagine not having your medication for all this time, but we're going to have someone's mom on next hour, as I said. But what about maybe getting some movement? They're finally at least getting some medication in.
Yeah, and let them go, right? Like, I think we have to underscore that over and over again. Release these hostages. Release the, I think, 8 Americans who are still being held. I met a survivor of the October 7th attack last week, and her experiences are harrowing, and she wants to remind everyone here in the United States that people are still being held. Yeah. Getting the medication is great, but just release them outright. That's overdue.
Let's talk about this meeting that's getting underway. Well, any moment now, in the next 5-10 minutes, the big four, the congressional leadership, House, Senate, supposed to go over to the White House. We'll see if they get anything on this deal that we've been talking about, that puts together border security and funding for the wars overseas. Let me play what Lindsey Graham had to say about that earlier, then we'll come back and talk about what they might get done. Here's Senator Graham.
To help Ukraine, I want to help Ukraine. God knows Israel needs help. But I can't help Israel and Ukraine until I help our own country. And if you want a deal, Mr. President, stop abusing parole. Agree to a change in the parole law that will limit what you do and others that would come after you.
All right, so how do we do this? You need to the president wants $100 billion plus. Even Senator Lindsey Graham, who's about as hawkish as you can get in terms of wars overseas, says, no, we have to do something on this border security first.
I think Congress and the White House have to show they can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
Can they?
We need to do all these things. Yeah. Right? We need to improve the focus on the border. We need to fund Ukraine. We need to stand with Israel. We need to do all these things because while we're fighting in Washington, our enemies are taking advantage of it.
The president's going to have to give in, right, on the border?
I think so. I said that to you weeks ago. I think he's going to have to give on the border. I think the middle is moving away on this issue. More and more independents are getting outraged about the situation on the border. I think the Republicans see some political opportunity here, but they've also got to get aid to Ukraine. This is the winter. Putin is taking advantage of this, and Israel is also concerned about whether or not we'll stand with them. So we have to do all these things at the same time. You have to fight enemies, foreign and domestic.
You mentioned your key word there. It's I call it your brand, independence. I want to talk to you more about those independents in a few minutes on a different topic. A few other things to do first, but you stick around for us for a few minutes, Paul. Thank you.